Just, oh my God. Okay. I could talk about that all the time, but like, so you're still modeling today, right?
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes, I do.
yes. What are some of the things that you're doing as far as modeling? Because they tell us, I learned that earlier, if not, I would have been a woman, but still, men get better with age. They grow
It's true.
with age. Yeah.
It's true. And usually there is a big market for male models because you can work from, from fashion to every single kind of product, from credit cards, cars, anything. So I did a lot. I work for cars for what a lot of different products. A lot. I don't know, Coca-Cola, everything. I did everything. And these days, well, I still have a nice, decent body. These days,
you have an amazing body, a decent body. I just showed them the picture. That's today.
So things have changed a lot because social media and internet. Back in the time, the only way to make it through the fashion business was like being hired by an agency.
Yes.
So this agency, they book you to different countries and they try to project your career. Now it's different because even the big brands are looking for these influencers through the web. So it's not years ago it was harder to really make a living out of the fashion business.
Right.
Now it's different because if you have a good image, if you know how to sell yourself through the websites, through the social media, you can get a lot of sponsors. But still, sometimes they make an exchange of the product through by image. Back in the time, money was different. There was a lot of money on the game.
Yeah.
Now it's different. But I think it's the way it is. I don't think it's worse now. I think it's just different.
Yeah.
And
keep going, please continue.
No, and I think it's more, you can be more independent because now you can work by yourself without an agent in the middle between you and the client. So if you, and you need to be smart. Sometimes people think that, well, if you are pretty, you don't need to be smart enough to be successful. And that's quite wrong because you need to know what market to put you to be in, you know?
Yes.
Sometimes you need to be very precise. Where am I going to go? I'm going to go to Paris. I'm going to go to New York. I'm going to go to Italy, because all these different countries handle different type of models because they have different types of products. And you need to be smart. You need to be where to be in the right time.
Yeah. You know, I want to ask you a question, and I love this. Like, even on my page today, I don't really show like fashion models, but I show a lot of Black and Latin men. It's what I love. It's what I love. So I just want to know, when you were coming up and you were modeling and you were working and work was everywhere for you, did you see a lot of Black male models?
Back in the time? No.
Exactly.
You know when I noticed that it was a big change? When Barack Obama was the president.
Yes, because everybody wanted that look.
Yes. Well, that was one of the many good things that Barack Obama did for everyone around the world.
Right.
I don't know if you agree with that.
I do. I do. Yes. He became Black became a currency. It became a currency when he was in office. Yes. Yeah. It was so crazy.
Personally, I think Black people is so naturally beautiful. Yes. I gotta work and work out every single day. And sometimes I see these guys, my God, look at those muscles, the skin. It's just natural. It's just natural beauty. That's real natural beauty for me.
You're a natural beauty too, though. You are a natural beauty. I've watched you for so long. So my thing was, the reason I asked that question is because when I went to Paris and I was trying to model as a boy, before I snuck into Fashion Week. I snuck into Fashion Week, and then I started meeting like editors of magazines, and they would get me invitations to get in, and I would have seats, and I could get to know people that way. But I remember going to the agencies, and people think that, oh, well, you know, because I had someone in New York at Boss Model Management say to me, he pulled me out of line and he said, you have an amazing look, amazing face. I'm only 5'11", but that was the thing. The women are 5'11". So he was trying to hint me in the right direction back then. And he was like, you're going to do better in Paris. You have to go to Paris. So here I was. I'd never been out of the country. I packed everything I owned into 3 suitcases. Wow. I had a friend in Paris, and I left in the middle of the night, and I went. And I remember I got up every day at 6 a.m. and every day, and not to mention the city was beautiful. I went in August. So I was before Fashion Week. So I went, and I remember even in school, I was a stickler. I carried every single book of every single subject that I was studying. I was very meticulous like that. So before I had even went to Paris, I had spent 2 years mapping out all the agencies everywhere, Dionisio, everywhere. And I had their addresses, and I knew the streets, and literally I went, and I would show up. I went to every agency in Paris, and unfortunately they didn't sign me right away. But I remember a woman saying to me, you have a great smile, but we don't have a black market here. Black people can't afford our clothing. Black people don't wear our clothing. And I started naming, and the funny thing was, I didn't name men. I said, well, what about Naomi Campbell? What about Leah Kabidi? What about, Alec Weck? And she basically said to me, those were happenstances. They just happened. And she said to me, but you have an amazing smile. Keep smiling. Maybe something will happen for you. And I made the mistake of going back to an agency. I'm not going to say their name. I went back twice by accident on my list. And I didn't realize this was a second time around until I was in there, and they were looking at me, and they lit into me, told me all the things that were wrong. Now, mind you, I'm a soprano singer. I'm a boy, fully 39 years old. I'm a soprano singer, got all this talent, but they didn't see that. They immediately, we saw you already. And I didn't cry in front of them. I thanked them for their time, because that's what people don't understand about this industry. It's so professional, and you can attest to that. You don't walk in there. I remember, take your contacts out. Don't go in there all dialed up. We need to see your skin. We need to see your hair. We need to see. And that's what I loved about it, because it's kind of how I live now when I'm not like this. My hair is always cut low. I don't have any lines because they don't like that. It's like natural hairline, and I just remember, so it's like kind of like the Matrix for me. My outside is kind of like that, and then you plug me in, and then you get this. But they lit into me, and I cried going out, and I'll never forget, I got a breakthrough. A woman in a shop across the street from them saw me crying and beckoned me over and said that I was beautiful. And she introduced me to a famous photographer at that time. His name was Ernest Collins. He was really big in Paris. He was Black. He was big in Paris. He died last year. But she introduced me to him. He took 3 photos of me, because he talked to me. And I've always been this. People just didn't know it. I've always been confident and smart and outgoing and business. And this is what I want to do with my life. And he took 3 photos of me, and I got signed literally to 3 model agencies in one day.
Wow.
But get this, they weren't like the contracts like you got. They were, we're going to test you out. We're going to try you out, get your information, and we'll call you if we have anything. And the whole time, they never called me.
I remember waiting for the ring for the phone to ring. It was like phone is ringing. It's a potential job, you know?
Yes.
Time of the answer machine. So is there a message when you get back?
Yes.
There's a message for an audition or something.
Yes. People don't understand you make your money this way. You have to work to make money.
Yes.
Like they don't get that. And I'll never forget, like after that, like Paris opened up to me. Like but I asked them, well, can you get me into, you know, the shows? And it was the women's season. It was the women's season that started. Paris Fashion Week rolled around and I was in there, and I'll never forget. I went in like a tight t-shirt and really tight jeans, and I had long hair, and I went, and all of them would be like, are you in the show? Are you can come in? Are you modeling? And I would be like, yes, I'm in this show. I'm telling you now. I'm like, yes, I'm in this show. So it would get me inside. Like I did that. But you know, even security was so nice to me. They would let me through because I smiled, and you know, I was a warm person. I wasn't mean. I remember I got angry one time because the security guard, like he saw me come in. I went out to use the restroom because it was in the Louvre. So I went out to use the restroom, and he didn't want to let me back in. He was like standing in my way of my destiny, of my future, of my purpose. And I got really mad, and all the other ones was like, oh no, don't be like that. Don't be like that. And then when he walked away, they let me back through. Like, it's just, fashion is something. And you've been doing it for so long. And I love how you were talking about it is a business, and it was harder then, and now it's easier. Do you find that you book more easily now? First of all, who shoots your photos for your Instagram?
Well, I work for with a lot of photographers.
Okay.
I know basically in Argentina, I shoot with most of them.
Oh.
So far, they're my friends.
Okay.
But most of them I shoot myself. The one you show, I took it.
Wow.
Yes. Well, basically, I know myself. I know the angles. I know the lighting. I don't like to edit. Of course, I do use some filters, but I don't like. I hate editing. It happens to me with the video. I hate editing, so I try to just shoot the way I like. What I see is what I get. Sometimes, for example, I love natural light, and I think when you got the eye, you don't need much editing.
Right.
So yeah, so far I know. I mean, I don't know if I will be a good photographer for others. Maybe I will, but I know what side I need to pose to give to the camera what I like to give.
Yeah, it's so amazing. So I'm going to segue. Tell us how you keep your body the way that you do. Give us the secrets. Give us the secret.
A friend of mine says, well, because sometimes, I mean, the truth is, I'm very lucky because sometimes I don't do diet. In fact, when I was younger, I was super skinny. So for me, the challenge is to gain weight. So I need to eat a lot. I go to the gym, I work out, I go running. But sometimes if I'm traveling, I don't go to work out, and I don't get that hungry, so I lose weight. But I lose muscle. I'm always ripped, but for me the challenge is to gain muscle. Mm-hmm. So when I was younger, I feel that I was too skinny. But for fashion modeling, that's good.
Perfect.
Then when I start working, I started working for sport brands. Mm-hmm. And because I used to do sports since I was 8 years old, so I always have my abs and everything. And I didn't realize that my abs can make I can make a living out of my abs. I didn't know that. So I started working, and I started doing like swimwear campaigns and underwear. And for me, it was a natural thing. I was never like working hard to have my abs or to be ripped, because it was natural to me. With the time, I told you I'm 47 now. Now my metabolism is a little bit slower. So it's easier for me to gain weight, which is good. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but so far it's working.
You said so far at 47, it's going to last the rest of your life. As long as you maintain your active life, you'll be fine. But I like what you're saying, because this is like, I'm using this kind of like as a teacher's table, because that's what they don't understand. These people, they come to me and they even ask me, you know, you have these fashion friends, you have this, you have that. Can you get me an audition? Can you get me with these people? And they don't understand that you can make a living out of one body part. We like your abs. We like your face. We like the symmetry.
Yes.
We like your neck. We like your arms. We like your thighs. Like, they don't understand that it's not like models that are really have the longevity. There's a part of them that sells. Like, they never, it's like, okay, well, she has the gap in her teeth. You know, we like that gap. You know, like, there's a lot, like, they don't understand that. And it's true when you said that. Like, you're like, okay, I made a whole living and I made money off of my abs alone.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.